What's up, gamers? Welcome to another episode of Let's Play. Tonight, we are going to be taking that first day look at Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. Finally, it has come. Now, this is one of those games that has been on the sleeper side of things. It's going only for about $39.99. A lot of people don't even know about it. But before we get into it, I'm going to shut up so you can enjoy the beginning of the game and enjoy the cinematic. And we'll jump right into it once it's done.
The Dwarven King's heart is soft, but his axe is sharp. And his adopted daughter, Catti-brie, a deadly archer, destined to be a leader. They will resist. Newly crowned king of the Red-haired barbarians, Wulfgar, son of Beorngar. If he can master his rage, he will be dangerous. Drizzt Do'Urden, the Drow outcast. Few can match his deadly speed. He could be the key to everything. They care for each other. Something to be exploited, perhaps. But their bond is strong. Regardless, they failed to secure the shard from that fool, Kessel. It's out there, exposed, for the taking. And now, it will be mine. Mine.
Wow, what a way to get us started. So, as I was saying before, after that amazing cinematic, this is one of those games that kind of fell under the radar. A lot of folks were not expecting it. A lot of folks don't even know about it. Unless you're a fan of D&D, a big fan of Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale and the old Dark Alliance, you're not going to be familiar with this type of game. But what I will tell you is one of the things that has always drawn me to the series is there is a lot of detail in everything they do. Now here we're at the character selection screen, so I'm going to have to go with that dark elf kind of guy. Let me look around and see. But the dark elf is definitely appealing to me. I mean, it's the rogue. He's got the dual blades. He's got that cool look. I will say the other characters look a little generic for me, just a little bit. I guess your mileage may vary depending on what your preferences are. But looking at him, he seems like the coolest one in the bunch, and he's got this ability called Astral Companion that I'm very curious about. And so, let's jump right into it. So I'm going to shut up again so you guys can listen to this beginning, and we'll continue right when it's done.
Forged from the magic of 7 liches, but with a treacherous will of its own. For thousands of years, the shard lay forgotten beneath the snows of Icewind Dale. There it waited, until some fool, a would-be wizard lusting for power beyond his due, answered the shard's call. Akar Kessel claimed the shard, and used its power to summon armies of evil creatures to his banner. From his crystal tower, he set them loose upon the Dale and the people of 10 towns. But we would not stand by and watch this tyrant destroy our homes. We companions rallied the united peoples of 10 towns and held our ground at the walls of Bryn Shander. Chased Kessel to the slopes of Kelvin's Cave. When the Shard realized that we had won, It abandoned him. It disappeared once again under the snows, along with Kessel himself. With Kessel gone, we thought the war was over. We were wrong. Though the Crystal Shard was lost, still it called to those who craved power. Its call was strong, and from across the realms they came. But we answered a call of our own. A call to stand together against this Dark Alliance, and defend our home against the threat of Cred Shinobar.
All right, wow, what a beginning. So jumping right into it. I don't know, kind of got thrown into a cave here, trying to figure out where I am, messing around with a few buttons. Looks like I discovered a way to kind of go stealth. Ran into a merchant. Here's like that pop-up overlay letting me know that it's a merchant. All right, I don't know if I need much information there. Let's kind of take a look and see at what we got here. Looks like not much, so I'm not going to be unlocking or buying anything yet. So it looks like I have to jump in first. And I don't know. All right, let's keep walking around, see what we find. All right, so at a distance, I see this giant loot chest, which I'm guessing is really just your convenient storage area. But let's see. Can I get in this? Come on. Oh, tell me it's empty. All right, so I haven't acquired any loot yet. So let's keep walking around. Let's see what else here. I see another little icon over here. The world map. All right. So this looks like where things kind of get started and engineered and gets you going on your missions. So it looks like one of the first things I should probably do is get through one of these tutorials and figure out how to play, since I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of pushing buttons and looking at the options here, but still a little confused as to how things work from a attack perspective and using my special abilities. So let's get into the Trials of the Tempest. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through these trials, but generally these trials take a lot longer than expected and they aren't that exciting to watch. So I'll just leave a couple minutes of footage here just so you can get an idea of what you're going to get yourself into when you start playing the game. It looks like you're generally fair. You're going to have some fodder of bad guys to beat up and kill while you're trying these new abilities and learning how to fight. So I really wish I could say something special about this, but there doesn't really seem to be anything out of the ordinary here. Just learning all the different move sets, learning how to navigate the attacks, learning how to move properly, learning how to lock onto targets, things like that. You can see you kind of complete all these objectives and it keeps moving you forward. So I'm guessing once I'm done learning all the basics, I will basically be ready to start the game and have enough information to hopefully be successful in my endeavor to defeat evil, right? So let's just keep going through this. If you want to skip ahead, sure you can, but if this interests you, like I said, I'm leaving a couple minutes here just so you get an idea. Look, looks like I could get a little bit of loot by completing these trials, so maybe it is worth it. So I would say, once again, your mileage may vary. Alrighty, now that we've completed that tutorial, and it was longer than I expected, honestly. I mean, it took a good 10-15 minutes to get through it. I think I'm ready to go. I feel like I'm ready to start the official missions and get things going, but I do remember I picked up some loot, so let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that whole little animation where it kind of unlocks the things you pick up. Looks like that was the only item that I got, so and an achievement to go with it. All right, well, let's get it going. Gotta keep moving back to the world map. Let's look at the menu a little bit. Gonna try to equip that item I got. Let's see if it makes a difference. Seems like it's a rare piece, so all right. Let's throw it on and kind of get things going. Wish me luck, everybody, because don't have any real gear yet. Now, we'll say what you did miss here is I did try to start this on a higher difficulty. You know, I really thought of it as, hey, this is going to be basically Diablo, but in third-person perspective instead of the isometric view, because there's all this loot allocated to it. So let me just try one of the harder settings, and I kind of moved it up a couple of tiers like I generally do. And I will tell you, the difficulty Skype. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? Did I say Skyped? I meant
The United
spiked.
Peoples of Icewind
Spiked.
Dale had
See, I got
defeated
calls on the
Khazar's
mind. We're in this
and
whole
destroyed
Zoom
his crystal
pandemic
tower.
world,
But
and
the
all I can think
dwarven
about
warriors
is
of Clan
being on Zoom
Battlehammer.
calls all day long. So anyway, what I meant to say was spiked. Yes, the difficulty spiked tremendously. Like, the game kicked my ass. Several times I restarted, and I had no option now but to lower it to the easiest setting, or the beginner setting is what it's set to when you start. So again, depending on how much challenge you want. Now, I don't really want to get beat up instantaneously at the first level when I start the game, so let's scale it back a little bit. Let's try it with the easier setting. I guess where I'm supposed to start with my power level, or based on my power level. It gives you the option there and shows you where your power level should be when you're starting this game. But you know, it's just one of those things where I'm quite surprised that it would spike that much, where I was getting floored almost immediately. I mean, two or three hits by a couple of bad guys, and I was already almost done. And when you die, no matter where you are, you start all the way at the beginning, which is a little frustrating, a little crazy, at least from what I've seen so far. So prepare for that. You do have the ability to set up these base camps. If you set up the base camp, it'll replenish your health, and it'll also replenish any usables that you exhausted throughout that little time frame that you ran from one section to another. And so that'll at least give you the opportunity to take your breath, collect yourself, and get ready for the next run of the game as you continue to move towards the end of the stage. Now, I'm going to try to get all this stuff out up front, so this way you can enjoy the gameplay and see it for yourself, see if it's something that calls to you, that makes you want to go out there and buy it. Again, for $40, you know, it is a really good game. Does it look like the best game out there right now on the current gen systems, on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X? No, it's not exhausting it. It's not pushing every pixel, but it's a fun game. And if you're someone that likes RPGs, loot collecting, that type of format, then it's definitely something that's going to be for you. Now, what I will tell you is I love the fact that every piece of armor, every weapon that you equip has a different look to it, and you can see it on your character, and it's one of those things that's just a nice touch of detail that they've added to the game. It's one of those things that makes you want to hunt that extra loot, get, you know, specific armor sets, because you want to look your best while you're equipping with this stuff. And the spells and, well, I'm not gonna say spells, but magic abilities that the game has added for at least this character, you know, they're interesting. The movesets can be a little daunting. You have your attack button, which is oddly placed on the shoulder button on the right. That's your light attack, quote unquote, and then your heavy attack is the right trigger, which is really odd to me for this type of game. So it took me a while to mentally get acquainted to the fact that the attack buttons are on the shoulder and trigger buttons on the right side. So that was a little weird. And the block is the left shoulder button. So you can parry, you can block. It's still, like I said, a little odd, but you get used to it. After you've been playing for about 15 minutes or so, it's something that you become accustomed to, and you start getting better and better as you practice and continue to move through the game. And so, as you can see here, like, just moving through it, in the beginning, you'll notice that I'm a little awkward as I try to figure things out and get familiar with the settings. You can see I was kind of trying to mess around there, see if there was anything I could change. There are also executions that you could perform in the game. You know, I was having a difficult time just because there's so much going on at once. Like, you really can get swarmed when you start fighting. And I will say that the camera gets a little wonky. It's one of the things they hopefully can fix with some patches. It's one of those things where you're facing one opponent and then the camera kind of gets turned around. Now, you can lock on to targets and they teach you that in the tutorial, but it's really hard to do when there's so much going on and there's so many different characters on there. Like, once you've eliminated the bulk of fodder that's around you, especially when you're fighting bosses, then the targeting system makes a little more sense. But it's so hard when you have so many different minions kind of coming at you that you have to be aware of. So you just have to deal with it. Like I said, hopefully it'll get better, but there were plenty of times where if I got killed or almost got killed, it was because of the camera. And you can see, like, you're just constantly having to turn and be aware of your surroundings. They continuously spawn enemies from everywhere, so it's not like you could try to corral them into one section. You see, you got these like little underground tunnel things here, these hatches, and they will pop up at different points during, you know, the battle. And as you can see, like, once you kind of clear them out, then you get that short rest available. That's where you can either choose to refill your reusables, refill your health, and they call that rest. But if you go the other route, then you can increase your chances of getting better loot. So at the lower level, of course, this is easy, but as I mentioned before, I tried it at the higher sets and it was very difficult. I was getting kind of pounded, and I tried playing, you know, some of the same rounds over and over again to start building experience. And even then, just moving up one tier was enough to be like, whoa, let me kind of take it easy here, because that whole, hey, I'm gonna restart you all the way back at the beginning, can be frustrating and annoying. But outside of that, the game's been very fluid. Weird little things where I call it kind of the Johnny Cage Mortal Kombat movie syndrome, where he goes, this is where you fall. Well, you're gonna notice a lot of times you'll beat characters, and this is, you know, just some bugs, I guess, in the game right now. But you will beat them and they'll still be standing there, and you're like, hey, are you gonna collapse or what? And so it can be confusing, especially when you have a lot of different guys coming at you. You don't know if you've beaten that one yet, and you're like, did I kill him? Is he dead, or is he still alive and gonna hit me in the back if I ignore him? So just one of the things to be mindful of. It's a small bug, again, something that'll probably be fixed easily with patches, but it's definitely very annoying. One of the other things that you can kind of do in the game is go off the beaten path and find these chests. As you can see here, here's one that I found, and they're all over the place. There's lots of little secrets, tablets, and tombs, and all types of stuff that you can look for and collect. And so in standard RPG, right, scenarios, you just have to look around for these little paths that will take you somewhere else. The good thing I will say that I do enjoy is, so you don't get lost, there is this constant beacon that lets you know where you should be going. And so if you get turned around the wrong way, and it's easy to happen because you take a lot of twists when you go off the beaten path to try to find some of these chests and get some extra gold and look for some good loot. So it's good that you can get put back where you need to be and know where you're supposed to be going to complete your mission. And so you can see here as I'm walking around, like that arrow in the distance is letting me know how far I am from that checkpoint. And then once I hit that checkpoint, it'll of course show me the next little checkpoint area. But so far, again, amazing game, really fun. I mean, you get your money's worth for the $40. I was very surprised about the price. I know I've mentioned it like 3 or 4 times, but you know, in a time where new releases are no less than $60, it's good to see something like this come about and be so much fun. And you can party up with 3 of your friends to create a party of 4, and so I'm curious to see what that looks like. Haven't been able to test the online matchmaking system. I tried it a few times, it wasn't working. Of course, it's probably because, you know, it is day 1 servers, all those things. So I'm sure within a day or 2, hopefully they'll figure that out. At most, maybe it'll be a week. But in the meantime, doing it solo is not bad because you can kind of get accustomed to how the game works, how it runs, and become familiar with your moveset, unlock your moves and abilities, equip some really cool gear. And so when you decide to jump in with friends, just like Diablo, like even though you've done these stages before, they're not that long. Long enough to be annoying if you die and have to start over again, but not annoying where you don't mind doing them, you know, from the beginning. They take about 15-20 minutes to run through, so it's good fun to have even by yourself if you're trying to just rank up, but I can only imagine how much more fun it will be with friends. I've heard the difficulty spikes even more when you have people on there, so make sure when you look at your unlockables, especially with your movesets, according to your character, I saw a couple of things in there that lend themselves to the multiplayer aspect. So one of them, for example, for my character, I don't know if it's the same for the others, is that when you get revived at 100%. So I can see that being very valuable, considering that depending on the difficulty, you may die a lot. So just little things to kind of keep in mind as you continue playing this. But what we're going to do now is I'm kind of going to go off of the mic and let you just enjoy the game and see what it's like to play and see some of the glitches, some of the a little bit of bugginess that's there. But you can see overall, it's just a good experience. It's fun. There's a lot to explore. We'll get through the entire first stage of the game through this stream, so if you just want to get that taste and say, let me see if this is worth it, then you'll have that. And you can see, like right there, I just picked up some epic gear, which is awesome. I'm really excited to see what I can do with that. Now, another small caveat, which might not be so small for some, I know it was annoying for me based on the other loot RPGs that I play, is that you cannot equip something you picked up right away. You have to wait until you finish the mission and you are back at the base camp, which is really annoying because sometimes you pick up something that looks really cool and you're like, oh man, I want to try that, and it could be the difference between you surviving and dying, and you can't load it up unless you actually complete that level. And that's the other annoying piece. If you don't complete the level, you can't keep the loot. So if you put something on a much higher level and get killed somewhere in the middle, but you picked up some awesome epic loot, you're gonna lose it if you kind of leave the match. And that's really annoying. That is, I'd say, one of the things I don't like. If I nitpick and find things that are annoying, that is definitely annoying. But overall, again, it's $40. $40, it's well made. There's a lot to do, a lot of different loot. I've only scratched the surface on my moves and abilities, and so I'm still getting used to it. And you know, the more I play with the character, the more I enjoy it, and then I think I'll really enjoy the other characters as well. For me, like I said, I just thought this Dark Elf was kind of the coolest. I like the rogues, right? He's got the dual swords, he's got the stealth ability, so usually requires a lot more strategy. It requires you to be a lot more tactful. So for me, I had to kind of go this route. I'm guessing maybe the game may be easier with some of the other characters, but you know, they're a little hardier. But for me, I kind of like that challenge of having to be stealth and stick and move and be mindful of my surroundings and not, you know, just be a tank that can kind of push through, but have to think about each one of my interactions throughout the game and how I'm going to survive some of these battles. and making it a little more cerebral. So it all depends on your playstyle and what you're into. But it looks like they have a little bit of something for everyone. So I went over what I was trying to say. Please enjoy the game. I'm That Game Dragon. If you're enjoying what you're seeing with the Let's Play sessions, then give it a like, drop a comment. Let me know if you're going to pick up the game. Let me know if you already have and you're enjoying it, and this kind of gave you a first walkthrough of what you can look for and expect. And hit that notification bell so you're informed of all the Let's Play sessions that we have. And just enjoy. And like I said, I'm going to go off mic now so you can enjoy the rest of the game and get through the whole first level. And when that's done, we're done, and you can go either pick it up or play it on your own if you already have it. Alright, so let's get to it and let's watch the rest of this first level.
More foes to fell. This one will test me.
You stay there, and I'll stay here. Deal? Don't do it without us. Hold on.
Come, goblins. Meet your end. This one will test me. Run to your holes, goblins.
That's your business. Thanks, Rowan. Stay right there, Trow. Oh, go away. Wipe my ass with your
Dragon's siege engines continue to be a threat. They must be destroyed.
Drow attack! Everybody! Turn on them, Drow!
Another chance to make the Dale safe. Enemies of the Dale!
I wish I was big. A lone enemy!
You make me a taste, Don't much care for this milk fight.
You're gonna die now!
Quit fighting back now. Got me a target. Come now, Elder. I'll make you eat this.
This one will test me.
shuck! A drow! Somebody hits a drow! Don't kill them without us! Out of their way! When will you turn on them, drow? Wait a sec!
You force my hand.
Is that drow we found?
Alright, we did it. We made it through that first level. Wow. There's a lot going on there. I am so excited. I can tell you that this is only the beginning. There's so much more to do, much more to collect. Different characters to try, levels to unlock, gear to unlock, feats to unlock, powers. Like it's basically an amazing loot RPG. I love it. I hope you enjoy it. It's definitely worth the money. Go out there and get it if you haven't. If you didn't even have it on your radar and this is your first time, this is a great entry to the game. I can tell you from experience, the older games, Icewind Dale, Baldur's Gate, those type of games, you know, a lot harder to understand what was going on. This is a lot easier in the sense that you just need to understand how to play through action RPGs and understand the button remappings. But anyway, go get it. I'm That Game Dragon, and thank you for watching.